Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome to Cheyenne Today, brought to you by Black Hills Energy. I'm Carrie Hayden. Thanks for joining us this morning. 630-2266. That's our text line, or 634-1240, Fat Boys Tire and Auto phone line. If you have any questions or comments this morning, go ahead and give us a shout out, and we'll get those on the air. We welcome this morning Jeff Seidenfaden from Bluepeak Internet. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Carrie. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Seidenfaden. Did I say your last name right?
That is perfect. I know it's not an easy one.
It's not, but I'll work on it to make sure I get it right throughout the program here. You know what? Talk to me a little bit about Bluepeak. It's a new high-speed internet, along with a cable provider. You guys are new to Wyoming, right?
That's right. We are brand new. In fact, just installed our first customers in January and are absolutely thrilled to be part of the Cheyenne and kind of greater Wyoming communities. Brand new brand and new type of an internet service provider. So coming to the market with incredibly fast speeds. Our speeds start at 1 gigabit per second, go up to 5 gigabit per second for residential customers, even faster for businesses. And part of an investment, a large investment that we've made in the Wyoming communities of about $70 million to bring the latest technology, the fiber to the home technology, to the market.
Now, why Wyoming as opposed to maybe some of these larger markets around the country?
Wyoming right now ranks 46th out of 50 states for broadband access. And Bluepeak's belief, our belief really, is that all communities should have access to fast internet. I think if the pandemic showed us anything, it was that we're so reliant on that ability to connect, whether it's to each other, for business, really everything, communications and entertainment, that each community really has that need. So the Wyoming communities, again, have that need, and it was just a perfect spot for us to come in. We focus on smaller cities, so not the big kind of NFL cities, if you will. There are other companies that are doing work in that space, but believe that every community should have big city internet, so to speak. So that's been the focus for us.
Yeah, and being in Wyoming, we're so spread out, and a lot of places are so rural that, when it comes to even things like telehealth, that's a huge issue for us here in Wyoming. So, with the high-speed internet, that's going to benefit a lot of people in our state.
That's exactly right. I think that even thinking about it from telehealth, I think that a lot of both providers and patients didn't realize that need would pop up so quickly. And whether it was even a provider that may be working remotely, having access to be able to meet their patients obviously being able to not get into an office or a clinic and having to do that remotely found themselves sometimes in that need. And that really is what this is about, that robust connection so that you don't have to worry. You can, move about your life in all of those ways that we're just, I think, growing more and more reliant on having that very stable connection.
You mentioned you've already kind of been in some communities here in Wyoming and coming into Cheyenne. What's the plan for Cheyenne and maybe some of the other cities around the state?
We will continue. We'll have about another, year of building out in the Cheyenne market. So we're continuing that, and folks will see us throughout town, and it's been fun and exciting to hear, even as we've installed some customers. They've mentioned to our technicians, hey, I met you at a meet and greet. I remember seeing you. So getting to know our folks by name is fun and exciting. So we'll continue that work in Cheyenne. We're also working in Casper, Laramie, Sheridan, and continue to spread out, if you will, across the state of Wyoming. So you'll see it continue, and it will take a period of time for us to do this, but we're committed, and we're in here having fun.
So in terms of homes, Jeff, how many homes maybe do you plan to actually be in throughout the year, or towards the end of the year?
Towards the end of the year, we will be looking at upwards of, I should say for the project, getting close to around 20,000 homes in Cheyenne. That number grows obviously a lot larger as we talk about some of the other markets. We've committed at this point about $70 million to the project, and that gets us roughly to around 70,000 homes and businesses. And we continue to develop, so that number can certainly change over time, and we continue to look for other markets that are both in need and ready and continue to build out.
So it's fiber internet service that Bluepeak does. Why does this service kind of set you apart, I guess, from the other providers that we already have here in Cheyenne?
The difference between fiber optic internet and traditional either DSL or coax cable internet really is the ability to move quick speed and volumes of information. So a 1 gigabit per second is the equivalent to 1,000 megabits per second. And as we've talked to folks in the community, and we've had some customers that have already called back and said, wow, this is great to not have to ration internet, which you can't imagine to even have to think of that families were doing that for either schooling or remote work. But to be able to go from, say, 20 megabits per second to 1,000, which is the 1 gigabit, our slowest speed, it really is just all about the volume of what you can do. It's also about that ability of not just, one person in your home being able to connect and do what they need to, but really everyone, and even at the same time in one home, being able to connect, again, whether it's work, whether it's entertainment, listening to a podcast, but being able to do it at the same time. That's really the difference between the fiber optic internet and traditional, if you say.
Well, and Jeff, like you said earlier, with the pandemic, hitting a few years ago and people, being forced to work from home, you don't really realize how important that speed can be until you actually need it, until you actually are on deadlines and you're working from home and, you're kind of looking and wondering what's going on with your internet. So when you talk about speed and things like that, even the technical part of it that maybe people don't understand, but they understand the speed part of it, it's a huge benefit, right?
That's exactly right. And it's, I think probably for anyone who has been on a Zoom call or a Teams call, and there's that person who keeps blipping or fading in and out, and you're wondering, what's happening with their connection. That's really what you see. It's a lack of bandwidth. It's a lack of, or a lack of connection within the home. So it makes it very difficult to have that kind of free conversation and really conduct business in a way that's fluid and flawless. And that's why also with our services, we offer whole home Wi-Fi. So we call it a mesh network. So really any place in your home is going to be fully covered with that robust speed. So if you've ever heard of kind of dead spots in a home where you don't want to go with your laptop or you aren't going to be able to stream on your tablet, we care for that with that kind of blanketed Wi-Fi within the home. So it's really both the speed and then also the coverage.
Well, that's going to be nice for a lot of people because I know we have that in our own home where you have to kind of hit certain rooms in order to, hit certain websites. So that's going to be a huge advantage for sure. And Jeff, we're talking about not only homes and for personal use, but, Bluepeak fiber internet service is offered for businesses too, right?
That's exactly right. And obviously businesses have really the same need as what we've been talking about with residential customers. And I think the example of physicians that may not have had the access at home when they did have to go remote with some telemedicine. You think about other small businesses that today may have a less reliable connection even within their business. And you have to have that internet, whether it's for your credit card terminals, connectivity between offices, so you think small and medium businesses. That's really what we're able to provide so well is small and medium businesses, very robust fiber internet. And again, at prices that are incredibly competitive if, you think in terms of what a business may have to spend to get that type of coverage today. And we also can build up to enterprise level, so really big businesses that have that need. The system that we've built out is robust enough to connect really any size business. And I'd say that, probably the other thing when it comes to the business side or the commercial side that the pandemic probably showed us is that businesses, even though you're small, you may still have a big need and may not really be in a place that you're wanting to spend that level that you would have had to traditionally for a fiber connection. And with our service, you're able to get that, call it big business package or internet, still at a small business rate.
So you mentioned various packages when it comes to internet. Bluepeak also offers packages when it comes to cable too, right?
That's exactly right. And I think what I love about what we're doing the most is really working towards bringing customers exactly what it is that they want. So we do start, our primary product really is our fiber internet product. But from there, more and more people, watch video on more and more platforms. And so the reliability of internet is so important. We do offer 3 level packages from a video perspective, but we also spend a lot of time working with our customers to even see if that is what makes sense for them. There are so many streaming platforms and what they call over-the-top opportunities, whether it's a Netflix or Hulu or those types of services. There are more customers every day that are selecting those more non-traditional methods to watch video and watch television. So we work with our customers really to build out what's best for them. And oftentimes that does include one of our video packages, but maybe a little different than a lot of folks think of when they think of a cable company. We're not looking to put together really big, robust packages that include a whole lot of video that they may not watch. We're really wanting to work with our customers to say what's right for you and build it out from there.
Yeah, kind of customize it for them, I guess, right?
That's exactly right. And more we just hear that. And I think for years we've heard that from folks that I don't want to have to buy what I don't watch. And so often to really get a good package, if you call it that, or bundle, folks they had to overspend on the video side to get that package. For us, you buy internet if you want internet. You can buy video if you want video. We're kind of the unbundle. We believe in really selling folks what it is that they want and that they need and not trying to force them into something more.
Okay, so walk me through the process a little bit, Jeff. If people are interested in Bluepeak, what can they expect when it comes to installing the lines in their home?
Sure. It is really a simple process. We make it as simple as possible. The easiest way to start, and even to get more information, so maybe it's someone that doesn't yet have the service available to their home, but they want to find out when they will. Easiest way is to go to hellobluepeak.com, and from there they can key in their address, and that's going to let them know if the service is available at this point. If not, they can sign up to get information about when we will be available, and they get notifications all along the way. Everything from saying, hey, we'll be in your area soon to start construction. So if they start to see folks on the street that are getting ready to pull lines down the street, they'll know what that is, down to exactly when that service is available. From there, once they've signed up through hellobluepeak.com, we'll reach out. So as the service becomes available, we'll be communicating to them, whether it's through email, text, phone call, whatever the most convenient for them is, to talk about which of the internet speeds is best for their home, talk about the time and the day that would be good for an installation, and answer any questions that might be there. We've also loaded a lot of information to that website that folks have any questions, that they can go in and look at some of the frequently asked questions, learn more, and reach out to us and talk about it as we're building to their neighborhood.
So is this something that is directly on our property when you guys start installing this? Is there damage that's done? Is it unnoticeable? How does that work?
We build in a couple of different ways. So we always work with the cities with the public rights of way. So there are times that those do run in an easement that would be in the front or the back of someone's yard. Sometimes they're in an alley or even further back between homes. Those are the areas that if it's an underground utility that we would dig and bury those lines. We always have remediation and bring the property back to its original level before we would move out of the area. So we always want the area to be as undisturbed as possible, but understanding that we are putting in a fiber optic infrastructure. So there is some level of work that happens. There's also aerial. So if it's an area that connects through utility poles, then we would come in through that access way. So really both methods. And that's why it's, I think, great if folks do want to go to hellobluepeak.com, sign up for those notifications, and then they'll know in their area and get a little bit more detail about what that may look like.
And, everybody always wants to know timeline. So, if you're there at their home installing, how long does this actually take?
The installation really does not take terribly long. It may be a couple of hours. What we do, it's fairly simple. We bring a line to the home. We install what's called an optical network terminal, which is equivalent to a modem, really. We connect that to the Wi-Fi device and then put an extender in the home that is what creates that mesh network. Our technicians can really walk the customers through every piece of the process. They'll ensure that the devices are all up and running. It's really what we've heard from our customers that have been through this so far have said that the process was simpler than what they were used to in the past with some other types of in-home installations. We do try to over-communicate. It's a big part of who we are as Bluepeak. We believe in being incredibly transparent, really lack red tape, and try to be very specific with what it is that we're doing and what folks can expect. And I think that goes straight also to the installation process. No surprises. We want to be very clear up front.
Jeff, you mentioned some other markets in Wyoming aside from Cheyenne that you guys are in or are currently in or looking forward to being in with that, some of the bigger cities with Casper and Sheridan and things like that. Is the goal to kind of try to be in almost every community, every larger city in the state by the end of the year or, in the next, 2 to 5 years?
That's what we're looking at is the time frame certainly would be in the next, say, 2 to 5 years. We have regular conversations with the various municipalities just to understand what level of service may be there today, if there are other providers that are there who they're working with, and then work together to see if it makes sense for us to be a part of their community. From there, we work through really what that build-out process and timeline would look like. So we are in constant communications throughout the state right now with various communities in addition to the ones that we mentioned. And those timelines would really be kind of predicated on what those conversations, how they end up, and the timeline there. But I would say that those are conversations that we're having even today. So we do continue those and look forward to building out as much as possible in the state of Wyoming. The need again, is there with being, one of the states that has the least access to broadband. So there's definitely a desire to bring the fiber optic internet to the most homes we can.
Jeff, you mentioned a few of the packages, when it comes to not only internet service, but also for the cable packages as well. And without going into a lot of details, with every individual package, all that is listed there on your website as well, too, along with prices.
It is. And I will say that, again, trying to make it as simple as possible for folks and really what we stand for as Bluepeak. Our internet package, our 1 gigabit internet package is $50 a month. And the $50 is actually $50. That includes the Wi-Fi. It includes the extenders, where a lot of times you'll hear a price within our industry, and then you're going to get hit with a modem fee and a Wi-Fi fee and all of these things that add up sometimes to $15,000, or more dollars more than what is quoted. Our $50 for our internet is the price. And it's very important to us that we are transparent in that way. The 2 gigabits is only $65 a month, and much the same. That is inclusive of everything. So you're not going to have to worry about, okay, they talked about this mesh Wi-Fi. Is that going to then cost me more? No, these things are all included in our price because we believe, again, the fastest speeds and the most coverage within the home are what's necessary, and that's what we provide.
All right, Jeff, we are out of time. Give us that website one more time if people want more information or to kind of, if they're curious and want to kind of see what you're all about.
Sure, it is hellobluepeak.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, Jeff Seidenfaden, thanks so much for joining us from Bluepeak. We appreciate your time this morning.
Carrie, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. All right. Stay with us. More Shine Today is coming up right after the break.